having just spilt water everywhere, it is entirely feasible that my desk is a bit cramped. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlie and I talk about books, writing, studying, chronic illness and life in general. I haven't uploaded for a long time, like a month. I've been trying to get back into the swing of life, and it has taken me 2 months. I apologise. I took loads of time off over the Christmas holidays and then have just been trying to catch up ever since. But I am back with some new videos that I will be posting over the next couple of weeks, about mainly to do with writing and to do with chronic illness, which is something that I have recently started conquering, touch wood. But today it is a very simple video today, and it is a writer's toolkit. When I was 13-14 years old and I decided that I wanted to write, I scoured the internet for videos with the writer's toolkit, but physical items. So there's loads of videos about, you need a good vocabulary. I didn't say that right. Vocabulary. You need good vocab. And you need ideas. You need to actually sit down and write the book, and that created the writer's toolkit. I always wanted and never found a video about a physical writer's toolkit, actual things that you would need as a writer. And so I decided that I would fill this spot and do that today myself. For all the other young writers or new writers, you don't have to be young, who are out there and going, I want to write, but I don't know what I need to begin. Because let's face it, we all need things to make the process easier. It's far more complicated than just write the damn book. It goes beyond that. You need to have the motivation, the discipline, all of that. And I find that having a toolkit that I love, there's physical objects, actually makes me more, I want to fidget slightly, goodness me, there we go, makes me more motivated, and I want to write. So that is what we're doing today. I'm not entirely sure how many things I've got. 5 or 6 maybe, possibly more. Just gonna take a quick swig of my drink. Cold water, nothing beats it. Right, just so you guys can, here are my credentials as a writer. I am a published poet of 3 poetry books, of which you can find all of them on Amazon. I'll put their names here so that you can go and look for them. My debut novel comes out in 2 weeks. One of my new videos over the next couple of weeks will be about that. And I have written, I would say 6 or 7 novels since I started writing when I was 13. Writing novels when I was 13, and I have written thousands of poems since I was about 7 years old. Not everything has been published, but credentials for a writer, you don't specifically have to be published. I have written blogs, I have done book reviews, I've done freelance stuff. So my entire life is writing. Last year I took a leap of faith and I started writing full time, and it's currently going quite well. So yeah, those are my credentials. And what I am going to say is what works for me. These tools might not specifically work for you, but they will work if they're the tools you need. I'm so clever. So without further ado and less waffling, I'm going to get into that. Right, I've got all my things. So, first and foremost, if you are a writer in the 21st century, 21st century, you're going to want a laptop. I have the latest Samsung laptop. Most authors like to work with Apple products. But my phone is a Samsung. I love Samsung. And this, honestly, this laptop is beautiful. Why is it beautiful? Well, let me tell you. It is sleek. Looks like a MacBook. It is a Samsung. And it works really fast. It's really very protected. Like, this is, don't tell anyone, fallen on the floor before because somebody unzipped my laptop case, and not a scratch. So it's durable. This has, I think, 25-hour charge, so you don't have to charge it. So I can take it with me and go on a day out of writing and not need to take my charger. It works really well. The internet is cool. It's really fast. And I just, marketing that for no reason. But yeah, a laptop. That's first and foremost what you need is a laptop. Unless you write by hand. When I was 13 years old, I wrote a novel by hand. I now have repetitive strain disorder in my wrist. So I don't write by hand anymore. I use my laptop. And I always put Word into dark mode when I'm writing because it helps with headaches. I have chronic migraine, so it just really helps. And Word is what I would always use for writing. I haven't used anything else, but it is something that Word is what I always go for. What was my next thing? Right, these two come hand in hand, and they're my favourite things. You ask any member of my family, I have 3 weaknesses, and that's books, notebooks, pens. So, reporter's notebook. I get mine from Typo just because they're really cool. Like, look at this. This is just so cool. And I always have one that I'm using. This one isn't from Typo. I always have one that I'm using for writing notes for my degree, which I do part-time, and writing notes about books. And I've got one that is specifically for writing. So this one here has, names, ideas, more ideas, and all of that. Not necessarily color-coded, but it has the ideas and it has the notes, and I write notes about where I want to put edits into my novels when I'm editing them. And it's just, every writer needs notebooks. That is, I will die on that hill. I have a large collection in front of me right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd like to say 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I would say 30 to 40 notebooks just in my general vicinity right now. And I use all of them, or will use all of them. And I have a box of notebooks for poetry as well, which is about 20 in there. I collect them. Don't judge me. It's okay. Next up, pens. You can't use a notebook if you don't have pens. Now, I have a wide variety of pens. My favourite pens are these ones, which are from the Flying Tiger. They're just little gel pens. Yeah, there we go. And they come in black, green, and red. I love gel pens. But I also love things like these fine liners. They're great for colour coding plans. And I have highlighters. Again, good for colour coding plans, highlighting things that I need to change, going through drafts, that kind of thing. And I usually carry 2 full pencil cases with those kinds of pens in them in my bag whenever I go out. These pencil cases are off Amazon, they're faux leather, and I love them. I've got 3 of them, I want more of them, but I am broke, so I'm not buying more of them yet. But they are amazing, and I just keep my pens in there. And on the same sort of line of notebooks and pens, one thing I always have with me is my poetry notebook. This one is it's either a leather one or a faux leather one, which my parents bought for me. Beautiful pages. And anytime I have poetry to write, I write it in here. So I've got some pages at the front there. See? This one I've been not struggling. This one has taken a little longer to fill because there are so many pages. But I have my other ones. Give me a second. I usually tend to work in this sort of size rather than this. And these ones fill up quite easily. But yeah, I love this one. It's got a little stone at the front. Very nice to sort of, makes me look mysterious when I'm like going out and about, And that is it in regards to notebooks and pens for now, I think. What else do we need? Headphones. I have these Bluetooth headphones. I got them on Amazon. I like to work with music. It changes varying on my mood. I usually like jazz, instrumentals, or sort of indie pop / indie rock. But these are a lifesaver, especially if you're like working in a cafe and there's lots of people talking, or you have a busy household. These are a lifesaver, and I carry them with me everywhere. This is going to seem really obvious, this next one, but it is what it is. You need a dictionary and a thesaurus. I might be a little embarrassed to say exactly how many dictionaries and thesauruses I have. Is it thesauruses or thesauri? Let's go with thesauruses. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 in varying languages. They're not just in English. I think like 3 of them are in different languages. But I use these all of the time. Loads of people say to just use the internet. No. Not only do they smell nice, but they are very useful. I have the pocket ones, which means I can take them with me if I need them. I don't use the dictionary as much as some writers would. I read a lot, and I'm always looking to expand my vocabulary in what I read. So it isn't specifically a huge need for me. But when I am in my office and I'm working, and especially if I am editing, I don't really use it for the first draft, but when I'm editing, I use the dictionary and thesaurus quite a lot, just to add a bit of pizzazz, a bit of a flair, make sure I'm not repeating words too much, because I find that really irritating in books. I had something else. I had many other things. Oh yes, I forgot to get this down. This one is the 2021, but that's okay. Writers and Artists Yearbook. This, as you can see, WellGrabbed. Basically, it gives you all of the editors, all of the literary agents, all of the publishing houses, all in one place, as well as, get this, wait, let me find it. Advice on what to write and what to say in your query letters. I currently am self-published, but I am looking at writing something and seeing if I can get a literary agent or a book deal, just for the fun of it. I prefer self-publishing myself because it gives me pure autonomy over the book and what happens, and I get a higher royalty, but I think it would be fun to have a book deal, you know? But yes, if you are looking to get published and you don't want to do self-publishing, this is the way to go. This is amazing. So yeah, there's that. Another thing I would say is as many books as possible. I have hundreds of books. Hang on, I'll show you. Wait, give me a second. Had to turn my phone around there for a second. So these are the shelves right in front of my desk. Those are all mine. Those are 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 mine. And those are mine. That's my boyfriend's. Then I have this round at the piano. Those are sort of my more collections. And then I have some in the corner there, and a stack there. And I also have loads in my bedroom. One of the most sort of common pieces of advice that you can get as a writer is to read loads. Some people say read only in the genre that you write. I say read as widely as possible. Read books about writing, read poetry, especially if you are a poet. Reading poetry will get you so far. You know, a lot of my books in here are related to classics and Greek mythology. I self-publish, as I was saying earlier, but I don't really say what I wrote, and I write Greek mythology rewrites with a concentration on sexuality and the history of sort of love and sex within Greek society. That's just a common interest for me, and I use my novels to sort of research it and look at it. So a lot of the books that I have here are to do with that. Some of them are left over from my classics GCSE, some of them I have bought for my classics degree, but it's all very much, yeah. And I have lots of fiction in here as well. I've got loads of fiction in my bedroom. My other sort of interest in writing is, I just heard a dog bark and I thought it was mine, but he's asleep. My other interest in writing is contemporary fiction, specifically contemporary rom-coms or contemporary romance in general. So I read a lot of those as well. And I also try to read widely in regards to who I'm reading. I have recently discovered that I'm obsessed with Murakami and Japanese literature, and I have been making a conscious effort to try and read more worldwide literature, so from Black authors, African authors, you know, people in lots of different places, Japan, China, Africa. I read a lot of American authors anyway, because that tends to be where authors get the most places. So read widely, and don't just read widely in your genre, read widely in general. I love reading classics, so I read a lot of that. And fairy tales, that sort of comes under the sort of mythology side of things. This is really bugging me, it's not down enough. There we go. So it's just really important to make sure that you are reading while you are also writing, because it is very clear when it is a writer who doesn't read. And the best way to practice your craft outside of actually doing the writing is by reading, because then you see how other people are writing. And I like to read both what's in sort of fashion at the time, and classics or indie authors. I love finding new indie authors. So it's, yeah, read widely as possible. Did I have anything else? I have to remember now, because I didn't write down. Sticky notes! Wait, that's not all of them. Hang on. I have a stack of sticky notes. They are not brightly coloured, because brightly coloured sticky notes give me headaches. They are these beautiful pastel sticky notes that I've got from The Works and The Flying Tiger. I have them in green, blue, pink and cream. I use the sticky notes for outlines, I use them for plans, and editing, especially if I'm sort of going through something and I find something that needs editing and I can't write a note in the margins. I always grab a good old sticky note. I also use this for annotating books. Trying to see if I've got one of my annotated books here. That's another thing that I do as an author, is especially if I'm doing research for a book. So this is one of my interests in Greek mythology, is also feminism. Well, not Greek mythology, Greek literature. So I'm just putting those away. So I annotate, got these little tabs so that I know sort of where I'm going, what I'm looking for. I have a key that I use, like that. So I use the sticky notes for a lot of different things to do with my writing, and my writing process could be completely different to someone else's writing process. Other people don't need anything, they just need a laptop and they write, and that's that. But because I am self-published, I write it, I edit it, I'm in charge of the marketing, I'm in charge of getting illustrations, I'm in charge of pre-order, I'm in charge of the finances, everything to do with that. I need, the way I organise it is with my sticky notes and with my notebooks, and they're just sort of stuff that I need. And my final things are a writing mug for tea and water. It's very easy to forget to eat or become dehydrated when you are writing, so I have my mug with the bees on it, and I have a kettle, and I make myself Earl Grey tea throughout the day in order to keep myself hydrated, and I try to drink 2 bottles of water every single day, if not more. Just to keep me hydrated and remind me that I'm alive. Yeah, so that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. My eyes are suddenly watering for no reason at all. Well then, bit odd, but we roll with. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you are a writer, let me know what you use. If you are a new writer or a young writer, let me know in the comments, because genuinely I would love to chat with you guys. These are my socials. Drop me a message and I will chat with you there if you want. And yeah, I will see you next week for another video.